What's up, guys? It's Saturday, March 13th, and I am up here at Storybook Hollow next to Big Mill. So I plan to come up today and to fish Big Mill, cook a little lunch, and then after lunch, check out Storybook Hollow. But as I was coming in on 258th Street, man, I was looking at these beautiful springs and clear streams coming in, and I thought, I want to fish Storybook Hollow. So I'm going to start here, fish a little bit, make some lunch, and maybe fish Storybook Hollow some more, maybe go to Big Mill. I was up here last in June of 2020 with my buddy Big Phil. We did a video here, and if you recall, we called it Horror Book Hollow because the weeds were so tall. They were over my head in a lot of places. Here in March, things have just barely started to green up. There's still snow on the hillside. This looks like a perfect time to come fish. And I am on the west end of the public access, and there's actually a very small parking lot up there now. The parking place that we found last June was just a pull-off along the road. So now there's a spot for about 3 vehicles there. So a very short walk down to the stream. I kind of came down in this little gully here, and I can already see trout jumping. It's probably about 55 degrees right now. There are little hatches going on. Trout are jumping. I've seen trout, small ones, kind of shooting off through here. So I'm going to try the Tenkara rod, do a little fly fishing, and just see how this stream is. It's a new put and grow stream that is on Iowa Heritage Foundation land, but there is an easement for some public fishing, so be sure to look at the signs. Make sure you know where those start and where those end, because there's no trespassing back here. Respect private property. And we're gonna go down here and just see if I can catch any of these fish. I already see them. Catching them, of course, can be a different matter. All right, welcome back to Trout Fishing in Iowa, 2021 version. Let's go. So my second outing of the year was in late February up at Spring Branch. I haven't put that video out yet, but it was basically Davis catching all the fish. Well, Pete and Vance and I drank beer in the parking lot, but he was catching them on really little flies. I didn't have a lot of really small flies at the time, but I have tied some now in size 18 and 20, some of these little midges. Man, these things are hard to tie. They're hard to tie on the hook, but we're going to give that a try first thing today because this water is really clear. And I think the fish are going to be looking closely at what we put in there. So maybe a really small fly is going to help. There's another angler out here. Red-haired fella fly fishing. Getting a real strong smell of peanut butter off of him. Don't know what that means. Just saw a couple really decent trout down here, swimming upstream. Gonna continue doing a little Tenkara. I think I'm gonna give him his space. Fish from this side. Try it out. And go have some lunch. That peanut butter smell is making me hungry. I'm seeing so many fish rising and so many bugs in the air. I'm going to a dry fly. I know it's only March, but sometimes you gotta switch, have a little fun. This is like a tiny little size 20 or 22 Zealand musk kind of thing, kind of a midge fly. So we'll see if they're interested in that. The little browns are jumping fully out of the water to catch the bugs. So maybe we'll get some action on the dry fly. Let's check it out. This is pretty neat. This is a little side stream that runs into Mill Creek here in Storybook Hollow. Nice and clear. Probably comes out of one of the many springs around this area. I always like to check these out, number one, because they're gorgeous, and two, you never know, there can be fish in here. If you've never fished the little tiny stream that goes into Spring Branch, kind of behind the hatchery, you might be surprised. There are often a fair amount of trout in there. They will swim up into these little streams if the main stream gets muddy or temperature changes or whatever. So you're not always likely to find a trout big enough to bite a fly in here, but you have to check it out. Also, they're really beautiful. Really, one of the nice things about northeastern Iowa is all these amazing springs and spring creeks. The peanut butter guy is going to absolutely hate me because I've had to get in the stream twice upstream of him now to get unsnagged. I feel bad about that. I'm trying to silt him out. There are fish rising all along the bubble line here toward the weeds, so I'm still casting this little gnat, midge kind of deal. Haven't had any action yet, but here's hoping. Alright, so the peanut butter smell kept making me hungry. So I decided to come back here, have a little lunch. It's getting to be about 2 o'clock. I need to eat anyways, or else I'll forget and I'll get grumpy. So I brought my little gas burner, and I'm going to do some pancakes for lunch. I'm excited about this. And in keeping with my theme that beer is better than water, we're going to make beer pancakes. So my buddy Victor says this works well. I've also read about it in Backpacker magazine. So we're going to try it out. And along with the beer pancakes, I'm going to drink a beer. Is that weird? Lunch beer? Yeah, it's 2021. There's no rules anymore. Let's have some lunch beer, make some beer pancakes. It's going to be delicious. Okay, so we are going to mix up our pancakes in here. Got a little butter for the skillet. One thing I forgot to mention, also brought along a banana, so they will be beer banana pancakes. One of my favorite Jack Johnson songs is called Banana Pancakes. It's a song about taking it easy, pretending like it's the weekend. Sleep in, make some banana pancakes. The funny thing is that Beautiful Wife thought when we were first listening to the song that it was banana hammock. So wear a banana hammock, pretend like it's the weekend. Sounds reasonable to me. So I'm just going to mash up the banana in here, add the beer for liquid, and then a little butter in the skillet, and we're going to start cooking these bad boys. It's going to be so good. And of course, I forgot my plates, so I'm just going to have to kind of eat them by hand. Got these handy dandy silicone pot holders, so we're just going to kind of grab it up like a tortilla here. It smells really good. I mean, never had a beer pancake before, but try it out, cut into it. It's good. Nothing wrong with this at all. Might need a second more on the grill. Well, got quite a bit of wind out here today, making cooking a little challenging, so let the skillet heat up a little bit. I don't know. We're going to eat some beer and banana pancakes, drink some beer. I'm going to fish further out by the bridge. Here comes a little dust in the pancakes. Guy's probably like, damn hippie, eat pancakes. Part 2. That guy was cool. He knows a good beer banana pancake when he sees one. This one looks even better than the first one. Definitely has like a good balance of flavor between the sweetness of the banana, kind of the maltiness of the beer. This is good. I'll do this again. probably try to remember plates and maple syrup, but hey, still a home-cooked meal out here. This is kind of cool. I feel like an old prospector out here. Just making my flapjacks by the trout stream. Thing about flapjacks, you want the pan to be hot so that they cook relatively quickly. You don't want to just simmer them. But if it gets too hot, it scorches. It's really just trial and error. I probably screw up the first couple in every batch. This is a little more chancy even out here because it's so windy. But it tastes good. A gorgeous day in March. This is wonderful. Yeah, looks like some folks are coming back from the stream. Probably going to wonder why I'm cooking flapjacks. Talking to myself. That's okay. Alright, so I had my flapjacks for lunch. Those are delicious. I think I'm always going to make my flapjacks with beer from now on. It was starting to get crowded down there, so talked to the wife of the peanut butter guy. She was really nice. Father and son just came in to fish there. That's fine, it's just the water it's pretty skinny water there. So I've come further to the east where Storybook Hollow kind of empties into Big Mill by this little old bridge. This is the place I fished in June. Gonna walk in there and fish. The water's a little bigger, there's a little more shade, a little more cover, so I think that'll be good. I may not even get down to Big Mill today, honestly. There's so much to see and do here. I'm kind of in love with Storybook Hollow. Especially since the weeds are like ankle high and there's a mowed path, which is a lot better than head high. So let's go down, check this out, see what's going on. Man, riffle into a right angle bend like that. This is just perfect. Nice and deep. Some eddy currents. Really good hatch coming off over here. Gosh, this is just such a beautiful valley, such a beautiful stream. So lucky to have this. So I'm at the downstream end of the public fishing here. Just saw a nice trout like breaching out of the water to eat something. So just drifting a little pink squirrel down. Have had one bite so far. Honestly pretty slow, but you know, that's not uncommon in this very clear water and when you're not super skilled like me. So I'm down here at the south end. Public fishing ends before this bridge, so we'll make sure that we respect the landowners and end our fishing in the legal spot. Also pointing out another cool little spring coming off the hill that comes in here. These are great places to fish as well. Another thing I want to point out here. So I just went to a really cool presentation on the Geology of Iowa's Driftless by my friend Matt Gresh, and he talked about these valleys and how much dirt has eroded down and how you have multiple layers of strata here. So if you look over here, you can see a layer of rocks on the stream bottom. That's probably close to maybe what the original stream bottom is, and then you can see a good 5 to maybe 9 feet at the highest point of this really nice soil over top of it. That is all washed off the hillsides, mainly due to logging practices, and so it fills up these valleys, and then eventually the streams cut down through them. And as I understand it, that's why a lot of these streams have these really steep banks and why you can see different layers on there. So you'll want to look for Matt's talk to the TU North Bear chapter in early March 2021. I'll see if I can find a link to it. I learned a ton. It was really cool. But it's neat to be able to now come out and recognize a feature like that. So thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, man. Well, looks like there are a number of cars down here at Big Mill, but that is to be expected. It is a Saturday, and it's about 72 degrees out now, which is wild, because 2 days from now, we're supposed to get 5 inches of snow. So you might enjoy trout fishing in Iowa, but would you enjoy living in Iowa? It's a really cool little riffle and rapid here. These big rocks over here. I do not remember this on the stream from when I was a kid. This was the first stream where I learned to trout fish, and it looked totally different back then. It was very forested, and it was pretty slow, and it was pretty green, blue, muddy almost. So it's gotten a lot nicer. I think good soil conservation practices plus the DNR has really fixed this stream up a ton. Like, they have done so much to the banks to make it both really pretty and really fishable. So I know they don't get enough credit. So shout out to the Iowa DNR and especially the guys working on trout streams. Love what you're doing here. Checking out 325th Street. Cool looking. One thing I've noticed is that every one of these little side valleys basically contributes a stream, a spring-fed stream into Big Mill. Probably one of the reasons it's such a nice, big, and cold stream. This is actually a really good road so far. I wasn't sure. I'm checking out a new spot, potential spot, and this is kind of a shortcut to get there. I don't think I've been on this road since maybe back in high school when one of my buddies had a 4x4, but it's a really gorgeous little side valley. Somebody else must have made banana beer pancakes because there is a lot of Busch Light in the ditch. Seems like every ditch in Iowa just gets drunk off Busch Light all the time. Do you live here? Are you a good boy? You're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. Who's so good? Who's a good boy? Is this your stream? Yes, you're beautiful. What a good boy. Who's a good boy? Alright, I won't bother anything. Nice to meet you. And this is really cool. There's a spring here, just coming right out of the hillside. Look at these cool white rocks. The watercress that's in here. It's just bubbling out, so clean, so clear. Looks like lots of deer have been here. Just kind of scouting for deer back here. Yep, lots of deer droppings, hoof prints. Wow, this is really cool. This is right here in Iowa. What a gorgeous spring. I just love it. Bet it's ice cold too. Oh wow, this is a beautiful stream. Don't think there's going to be any trout fishing in here. Again, just scouting it. I'm here legally. Do not have permission, express permission to fish it. So just scouting. So scouting for any hunting that might go on here. That would be good. See water striders. Lots of nice clear water. Very, very cold. Slump blocks. Cool spot. Not sure about fish here though. Alright guys, well let's bring it in. It's time to head home. So today was a really fun fishing day. My first serious fishing trip of 2021. Last year, man, was hard. This year I got my first vaccine shot the other day. Scheduled for my second one. Looking forward to the U.S. getting healthy again. Heart goes out to people who've lost somebody to COVID, who've gotten sick from it, and felt all the effects of it. Some of you guys know I'm a professor at a big school. This week marked 1 whole year since I've been in a real classroom. It's tough, man. I really miss my students, really miss my colleagues. I know K through 12 teachers, every teacher is feeling the same way, whether you're in the classroom and taking risks because you have to or you've been told to, or whether you are, teaching at home like me, it's tough. So if you know a teacher, man, give them a virtual hug or send them a gift card or something, because it's tough. I'm looking forward to things being better this year and hopefully getting back into the classroom this fall. It'd be really nice. Today started out at Storybook Hollow and went to Big Mill. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. It's really cool actually, because you get two totally different kinds of fishing. Big Mill is basically a warm water stream. There were dudes there fishing with minnows, sitting on buckets. That's a good style. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do cold water wild fish, you go upstream to Storybook Hollow, or there's also the kind of that North Fork put and grow that runs into Big Mill. You can also go to Little Mill, which is unannounced stocking, so it's somewhere in between put and grow and put and take. Big Mill, it's fairly big water. It's wide, a little bit warmer, a lot of holding water. Can be a lot of fish there. Today it looked really fished out, to be honest. But it sure is pretty. It's a wonderful spot. It's where I learned to trout fish, and it's fun. And if you want to get wilder, you can go upstream to Storybook Hollow. That was great today. The weeds were down, super fun. Saw a lot of fish, didn't catch any, but it doesn't matter. You just get out and have fun. And then I came up here to a spot that I'd scouted on BioNet, this public hunting ground. This little stream next to me, it says there are wild brook trout in it. I don't see how. It's just a trickle, but maybe further up. If you were to fish here, you'd have to get permission. It's public hunting, so I'm here scouting, I guess. I hope that's okay. I did see a deer, so it's like scouting, right? And it's only open certain parts of the year. So cool spot. Glad I came. Got to meet a really nice dog from the neighbors. But you just always have to check these out. This little valley that I'm in, it's a little side valley, kind of parallel to the Mill Creek Valley, and it's just gorgeous. There's still a lot of snow on the ground. There's these really cool, like, sedimentary slump block formations. I hope I said that right. And it's great. So get out safely, enjoy trout fishing in Iowa, any kind of fishing in Iowa, and please be kind to each other, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure, trout fishing in Iowa.